Ruth 4:13 through 15 says, So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. And then he went to her, and the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. And the women said to Naomi, Praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a kinsman redeemer. He may become famous throughout all of Israel. He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you and who is better than all the 7 sons he has given him a birth. Now, if you're joining us in reading through this 90-day reading plan, today's reading is Ruth 4, and I encourage you to read that passage. Well, Ruth and Boaz's story now takes an interesting turn. As Boaz was not the closest relative to Naomi, he had to receive permission from that person to redeem Naomi's land, and Ruth. When he first approached the near Redeemer, the relative said that he would be able to redeem Naomi, but when Boaz told him about Ruth and his requirement for children, he declined that offer. This opened the door for Boaz. Notice the song that the woman sang. Naomi has a kinsman redeemer, and they asked God that Boaz be famous throughout Israel. He restored Naomi's life, partially through the birth of grandchildren, and he sustained her in her old age. But the greatest praise is left for Ruth. She is said to be better than 7 sons. Now, this is an amazing statement, for Ruth was an outsider. She was not born Jewish, she was a Moabitess, and yet the women praised her through hyperbole, saying that she was better than 7 sons. This is tantamount to saying that she was the best thing that ever happened to Naomi. Well, this story shows how believers can impact the world for Christ. Most of us have come from a Gentile background, and we have been grafted into Israel. It is through our ministry that God's name is made great, and it is our responsibility to ensure that we do not denigrate that name in any way. Living a life that is unrighteous is a great way of destroying our witness. We obviously are not perfect, but we do not have to shoot ourselves in the foot. 2 Peter 1:3 through 4 tells us that God has given us everything we need to participate in his nature. Let's not give the devil the opportunity to use us to denigrate that name.